and sometimes it's not you finding the home will actually find you.
Wow, that's a very deep metaphor.
No, I mean,
welcome to the next episode of Win Together series. Here we have Darius, a Gold Pegasus award winner for the month. So I know Darius has always been a landed agent for a very, very long time. So I understand that recently you have quite a fair bit of condo closings. Maybe you can share with me, right? Since you have been doing landed for so long, how did it evolve since you came over to join us on the condos? Where were the leads coming from in general?
to be honest, the leads are also from the landed buyers lah.
Already?
Yeah, so they were the landed buyers that were actually unfortunately not able to find their landed home because the market has run to the moon.
Yes.
So they decided to look at condos lah.
It's interesting. That one is real. That one I know for a matter of fact that this really happened during this period of time is that the buyers are outpriced at present moment. They have no choice. Then they actually swung to get condos.
Yeah.
Then your condos are all very big like that because your landed are very big ma.
Okay lah, big enough lah.
Really, huh?
Yeah.
What kind of condos that they
we were looking mainly in the District 9, 10, 11 areas lah.
That is because you are always doing...
Because I'm always around the area.
Right.
And for a landed buyer to actually want to swing to a condo, it needs to be a sizable... the unit needs to be sizable.
I'm sure. But those are mainly for replacement or they buy for investment?
Replacement actually. Some of them actually look for landed for 4 or 5 years, never buy, and then the price has gone up so much, they have no choice lah. They say better, maybe buy condo better for them.
Right. So then I ask you another question: Is landed a good investment in this instance? You say already 4 or 5 years, the price like that.
I mean, in the long run, Singapore is very small lah.
Right.
Singapore will never expand their land.
Right.
You know what I mean? And especially in the core region, the 9, 10, 11 region is always the highest demand.
Right.
So maybe to answer your question, I think in the long run it will appreciate lah. To how much we wouldn't know lah.
Yeah. Inevitably
it will
yes,
appreciate. I mean, you just look at the past transactions in the past few years, it's gone quite substantially lah.
Right. So then you mentioned on the people who missed out and eventually have to buy a condo. Do you also have those that have sold their landed and went to condos also as well?
Yes, of course. I have a client that actually sold her big bungalow, and then she was actually looking for a condo to downsize, not to downgrade. They have a lot of money,
right.
So they want to downsize because they are retirees, and it's quite a common theme right now for the older folks. They don't want to maintain the big house.
For sure.
So they look for a condo, easier maintenance for them.
Right. Yeah. This one I had the ones that staying in the GCB for the longest time, and then only 2 person.
Yeah, very hard to clean.
Yeah, then the kids all went overseas, then after that don't want to come back, that kind of thing.
Then the garden got snake.
And then COVID period, some more, circuit breaker.
Jalan.
Yeah, so this is this is quite common actually.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so these are this kind of
good clients lah.
Yeah, I understand. Right, that's good. Yeah. So how do you keep them at bay? Which means how do you remind them that you are there for them?
I mean, to be honest, in this real estate business, I believe we're not selling property. It's all a people business. You know what I mean? So I try my best to make it a point where the customer becomes a friend. So when it becomes a friend, anything real estate business, they'll think of you, right? For my mentality, whether you close the deal or not is regardless. It's how you maintain the friendship and the relationship with the client. You know, so to answer your question, when they are looking for a property, I hope I'm the first point of contact lah.
That's cool. Yeah. I thought that's a very good way to value drive yourself also. But do you do anything special, or is there anything that you've done you keep them at bay?
I think constantly keeping in touch with them, not spamming them, but just randomly messaging them, catching up with them, say how are things, etc. Even meeting up for coffee or meal, it's usually fine. I think there's a fine line between spamming a client with something that they don't really want or they're not even looking at, which makes them irritated at you, versus some value add that you can give to them. with regards to what they may be looking for,
Right.
even if it's not what they're looking for. So transaction records, newspaper articles, which Tony has been very beneficial, and maybe even the potential of what can be done with regards to a piece of land.
Right.
Whether it's subdivisible, whether they can build how high, or for the future generation.
Which you are the best person to go to this one.
I mean, I try my best lah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
And it also helps that you are sort of in the know of what are the products available. Products means what are the landed houses available. So when they see something on Property Guru or anything on the advertisements, they would send it to you, hopefully, because they trust that you know which house it is, or you know how to advise them on that specific property lah.
Right. How do you actually recommend them this kind of products, the condo products, which maybe you are not familiar with to begin with in the first place?
Okay, basically because I'm familiar with the area in itself,
Right.
1911.
So you really know the products.
Naturally, you would sort of be familiar, not maybe a lot, but with the condo products around, right? And it helps that we have our information on the app and each prop, right? So you can actually read through the specs of the property for the
Right.
condos,
Right.
And then obviously you wouldn't recommend a 1-bedroom to a buyer that's looking for a 4-bedroom.
Yeah,
You know what I
for
mean?
sure, for
You know
sure.
what I mean?
For sure.
So you can actually advise them based on the quality of the product or the project in itself by reading up on who the developers are, who the architects are, maybe even look through the floor plans to see what is the size and that kind of thing lah.
So all the homework that you've done prior before.
Yes, before I even recommend
Yeah.
product to them lah.
Which also means that, technically speaking, you have been dealing with land also as well. You would know some of the developers anyway.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
It's people that you already knew. So
Yeah.
you know the kind of quality that they
Yeah,
provide.
but landed developers are very different than condo developers in that sense. Because landed developers, I would think there are only a few handful lah,
Right.
within the 1911 region. For condos, you are looking at bigger scale in that sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's something interesting to know and to hear also as well. On the end of most of the realtors who are mainly involved with condos, I think the consideration is very different, especially if they switch over to the other side when they want to deal with landed as well. Did you basically also as well learn anything else apart from all these condos when it comes? Is it any different when it comes to closings? In terms of how the negotiation is happening when they are, because it's very different.
Yes.
It's very different. I can think of like when you're dealing with maybe say a GCB plot or something, the quantum is totally different.
Yes.
Then when it comes to like maybe say a condo, suddenly it becomes like a half or maybe even a quarter of the quantum.
Yes.
How do they react? Do they like go, yeah, so small amount, forget it, that kind of thing? Or how would they react?
Actually, it really depends on the client, because some of them, when they see a condo, they are very intrigued or even mesmerized by the kind of lifestyle they can actually live. It's very different than living in a landed, because in essence, landed, everything you have to cover yourself. Maintenance, you have to cover, pool maintenance, lift, everything you have to do it yourself. But then when you come to a condo, you have a management that helps you do it. And it gives them a very different feel of living in that sense. Obviously, the quality needs to be of a certain level. When we are talking about GCB sellers or owners that are actually downsizing to a condo, right? They have a certain level of comfort as well.
Right.
We can't recommend something that is not suitable for them.
So developers do matter.
Yes. The
Right.
quality of the project actually does matter.
Right.
Yeah.
So you would know all the quality products as well, because it's quite limited in
Yes,
1911.
especially in
Yeah,
1911. Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, but I think to add to your point, it's a lot. I wouldn't say it's a lot harder, but maybe there might be a challenge for a condo agent to move to a landed versus landed cross-selling to condos. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because I think the landed product is very, very niche. And those that have been doing condos all this while might not even know much about the landed product.
Right.
That's what I feel like.
So there's a differentiating, no matter what, there's
Yeah.
always a differentiating factor when
Yeah.
it comes to that, which a lot of, I would say, a lot of colleagues aspires to be but it will take a while in terms of how, if you are really stepping in also as well, it takes a while to get into that segment in that sense, because I think branding is one.
Yeah.
And I'm sure learning is another thing, because there's a lot of things to learn anyway.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Building the trust with your clients is the most important, I feel.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is your drive.
Yes.
In this instance.
That's the drive. And I've always had that mentality that it's we are matchmakers lah. We are like Cupids, you know. So you know, like you want to find wife or you want to find husband, right? You like whatever matchmaker. So for us, we are Cupids for our clients finding their perfect home. You know, and sometimes it's not you finding the home will actually find you.
Wow, that's a very deep metaphor.
No, I mean in that sense, right? I have clients that looked at properties for I don't know how long, and somehow rather if they see something they like, they just pump.
Right.
You know, and they say, oh, this is the one.
So in this instance, when they say this is the one, negotiation, it comes easy?
It comes a lot easier because they already like what they want.
Right. So in this instance, assuming if you are a person who is selling on behalf of your client, do you do things such that, on the other hand, the other one that is shooting the arrow will end up buying your house?
Okay, so there are examples where if there's a price mismatch, right, I will even seek whether the seller will meet the buyer.
Right.
So when they are agreeable in meeting one another, then the seller might have some form of comfort or assurance saying, hey, actually this buyer is so and so in a way that is a good family, you know, maybe they can bring up their kids in this house,
right,
etc.
So it's a karma thing.
Yeah, it's like a matchmaking lah.
Right,
so you know, sometimes sellers don't want to meet the buyers, or sometimes they are okay meeting the buyers because that can help with regards to closing the deal.
Right.
And they may even sell at a lower price because they like the buyer.
That's interesting. Okay, so that's interesting. So most of the time, the theory is, please get out of the house. Let me do my work.
Yeah.
But you do matchmake them sometimes.
Yes.
Which means like
pre-COVID lah, pre-COVID. Okay.
Okay. So
disclaimer.
There's a caveat here. Okay. So you do allow them to catch up sometimes because you feel that the chemistry and the vibe is okay for the purchaser.
Yeah, for the purchaser and the vendor lah. Yeah.
So and and you have done your pre-checks first. You know that they probably will be a good fit.
Yes.
Then you basically
sweeten the deal for both parties.
Yeah. So you want them to feel good at the end of the day. Oh, that's interesting. It's not easy to do that, no?
It's not easy, but actually when it works out well, half of the battle is won.
Wow, that's cool.
You know what I mean? It's easier for the realtor or you as the Cupid to facilitate the matchmaking lah.
Your metaphor is very cute. It's really very cute. But it works lah.
You know what I mean?
It makes it easier for us to understand. We don't really need to go through all the ring and rang. It's just like that. Okay.
Yeah, but of course, you know, when you keep having that mindset, no, you must find the house for the owner, for the buyer lah, or the seller lah. You know, must keep finding, because your product then is like the house,
right?
Not the customer,
right?
So if we were to, or for me lah, I adopt that mentality is I'm serving the customer, the product, right, would come lah naturally.
Right. I think the most important thing that you mentioned also as well is that relationship matters.
Yes.
I think, and that drives you. It's something where you embrace, and this is something which carries you on a day-to-day basis.
Yes.
So I suppose the main takeaway from here also as well is the way how he pursue relationships, like the Cupid maker also as well.
Yeah.
So he finds meaning in doing this, and I also find it meaningful in this instance.
I mean, when
they
you
become your friends, I think it's a lot.
Correct. And then when you manage to seal the deal for your friends or your clients, right, and then they're very happy with their new home, you feel very like, wow, you know, at least we found them a home. You know,
there's value.
There's value.
There's meaning in your work.
Yeah. So that drives me as well, lah.
That's good. Yeah. So today I think we learned a lot from Darius. He basically shared a lot of insights of what he's doing. Now, we thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and so we'll see you in the next episode. See you. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.